What happened? Okay, I'm finally talking about the release of Shadow Generations. I know, it's been way too long, guys. 2 weeks? That's way too long. Hopefully I don't lose more subscribers or views on this video. Anyway, let's not waste any time and let's get into a first thought / pre-completion review. Alright, so the game basically starts off with a pretty much recap of how Shadow was created. And we get pretty much into more of the details of how Shadow was created. Like more of his life on the Ark. And we get more of little precious Maria before she gets shot up. And I didn't even know Shadow had the capacity to love this much, bro. He's always brooding all the time. Who knew he had a family? But to my surprise, this actually takes place during Generations. Like, do you notice that at the beginning of Generations, Shadow was not at the party? Well, this is what he was doing. He was on the Ark looking for Doom. Or he found out that he was looking for Doom. It's a complicated thing. And also, when they cut from the Generations footage to the Shadow Generations footage, it shows just how much they've improved. No more saying that this game from 10 years ago looks better from the game now. Alright, now let's get into how the levels look. They are amazing. In my last review, which was Sonic Superstars, I congratulated Sega on how they were being creative with their level design. But now, they just cranked that up to 1 million. You can be having a normal stage, then Doom pops up and forms that stage into a psychedelic labyrinth. And not to mention that they smoothly transition from these cinematic cutscenes to gameplay. Forces wouldn't be able to do that, which also sort of kind of leads us into our next section. They completely remade levels and made them look amazing. Like for example, Rail Canyon. In the Heroes version, it obviously looked, a bit foggy, a bit pixelated because, it was like the GameCube. But not only does Shadow Generations improve on it, it improves on the level design too. Because Rail Canyon in the OG Forces was a complete pain to get through. We were always falling into endless pits. This just goes to show how much Sega has improved on their gameplay. Alright, our next section, the bosses. So far, not only are the bosses really cool, some of the bosses mention or are aware that they're fighting Shadow again. Which goes to show that he's confronting his past, literally. And I just have to mention, these boss fights make Shadow look insane. It takes the Titan fights and then cranks the coolness up to 1 billion. Really cool, especially in the Mephiles fight. We'll get to that in the full review. Our last and final section that we need to talk about is the lore implications. As you notice, we go through stages that canonically haven't taken place yet, which confused some people, but with my big brain knowledge, I knew that the Void took place in between time and space. So that means Shadow could pretty much jump to whenever point he wants to. Which means Shadow appearing in Frontiers levels makes sense. But not only this, Shadow could have technically went to a level that's in the next game. But most importantly, the Void brought Maria and Gerald from their point in time to Shadow. Which gives us a chance to see Shadow have his family back again, more or less. He gets to see them again, because in this point in time, the last time he saw Maria and Gerald was when Maria died. So this gives Shadow another chance to understand them. And in the game, he mentions how he could possibly bring them back. And also, in the game, they mention that, or Maria and Gerald mention that, Shadow's, a little bit different. He's grown. Which could also tell us why Shadow hasn't been in any other recent games. Because there's not much more to explore with this character, or at least with his past. And also, maybe he didn't want to come to the Starball Islands with me because, he already went there. Yeah, so maybe Shadow's content. I mean, I haven't seen the end of the game yet, so I'm assuming that Shadow's content, or has had closure with his past. And that's why we didn't need to explore more. Alright, now time for the review. This is one of my first times I'm giving a genuine 11 out of 10 review. The only reason why it's not a 13 out of 10 is because I kind of want more of it. Well, hey, I haven't seen the ending yet, so maybe my review can go down or it can go way up. Anyway, that's it, and bye.